Market update here on the 18th. I missed the whole day pretty much. I didn't miss a very exciting day, so I'm happy about that. Everything was pretty much flat. SPY went up a little bit, or SPX. I'm going to do SPX. I have that already labeled. So just going back to the chart, let's zoom out here on the long term first. So long term, I think I need to make this bigger. We're in the overall third wave still. I think there's more to come probably after the election. Like this. And honestly, I'm starting to think that small caps are probably going to pop after the election. And what does that mean? Does that mean that Trump's going to win? I don't know. But usually when Trump has been in office, the dollar has been weaker. So the dollar is pretty strong under Biden, and it's not going down. I have a prediction of like in the 90s before we top out in the overall market. When Trump was in office, we were in the 90s of the dollar. Ever since Biden's been in office, we've been above 100 pretty much the whole time. So a weaker dollar under Trump makes more sense for a pop after the election, and maybe small caps finally take off. That's just speculation. I don't know what's going to happen to the election, but that's pretty much what could happen, I guess. So let's get into this wave right here. This is my count on this wave. And you can see here, 1, 2, 1, 2. I still remember when we were down here and everyone was still bearish. And I was looking at this. We were at the bottom of the standard deviation. I said, no, it's ready to go higher now. And that was less than 2 months ago. And we've gone up now 10% basically. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are in the fifth wave of the overall third wave. Within the fifth wave of the overall third wave, 1, 2, 1, 2. I have this as a third wave right here. Fourth, I have the overall third wave right here. Kind of a weird end, but I think this is actually the third wave right here. Fourth wave. Pullback for the fourth wave here. And we're in the final legs of this third wave. If you take the first wave down here and put it up here, it comes to about 551.7. So then if we zoom in here, let's look at this final wave. We have 1, 2. This was a third wave in my opinion. It could be. It's probably the third wave. You look on the, let's look on the hourly. So on the hourly, that's kind of where you can kind of tell. 1, 2, 3. You got the red candle here. That's 4. And so let's just look at how big this first wave is. Usually I put that at the very top for the fifth wave. And it's saying around 558. That's not very much higher. Or 551.7. So I think maybe by tomorrow or by Thursday or maybe by the end of the week we top out for this overall third wave. And if we top out in the overall third wave, then we're looking for a pullback for the overall fourth wave. And that could potentially come all the way down here to 538.7. There's a gap here at 537.6. So I have this circled right here. So maybe a pullback. My only thing with this though is if they're gonna pump it tomorrow and the next day, they might keep it up until like end of June, because end of June is the end of a quarter, and they like to look good for their clients. So we might top out, and it might do something like this. It might go. We might get a move down like this, maybe into like mid next week or next Friday, and then back up here into the end of the month, like that. And then maybe after the month's over, down like this. So to make the quarter look good, come up here and then sell off. That's speculation, obviously. But I think that this third wave is about finished. We're at the very top of the standard deviations on the 4-hour, on the daily, we are pretty much the top two. So let's just say it happens on Friday. Then I'd be looking for a pullback, probably get outside of this. But the thing is, this kind of tells you where it's going to go. I would say it's more likely we just come down here to 543 then. So it could be a very quick dip, just based on this parallel line here. So I'm actually going to move this up. It could go all the way down here, but it's probably just going to come down here to 543. I think that's like a hourly maybe. It's some kind of demand zone. 4 hour maybe. Oh, here we go. 4 hour right here. So this is probably where we'd be going. So 4 right here. And then I'd be looking for one more pump. So this is saying like end of June. So then one more pump, probably a pump into, I don't know, I'm just making this up. I don't know what this is going to do. But one more pump. I have no idea how high it's going to go. It could go all the way to 6,000 and I wouldn't be surprised. Just by the way it's pumping. But one more pump higher. And then that should be the overall third wave going out here. That should be the overall third wave. And then I'm looking for a correction that could be pretty extreme going into the election. So let's just say we go to 6,000. Potentially a pullback to probably at least 5,600, maybe down to 5,400. If it's really extreme, down to 5,000. I would say it's probably going to be, based on this is a pretty weak second wave. So I think there could be actually a pretty extreme fourth wave. Maybe it pulls back all the way to low 5,000s. So we could be seeing a pretty big dip. And then after that, probably the dollar is going to drop and we're going to get a huge move higher after that for the overall fifth wave. And then that's when you want to get out of the market. You can get out of the market too after this fifth wave hits, probably sometime in mid-July or in mid-August. So that's what I'm looking at. Probably topping on this move within the next day or two, and then next week pull back, and then another move higher. Probably take another month or two. This is going to take about a month. The fifth wave will probably be pretty extreme, probably about a month. So still more upside. Everyone's like getting really antsy and saying we're ready for a pullback, big pullback, but the chart isn't suggesting that yet. Pullback and another pump, I think. So let's go over Meta. And I'm in Meta and I'm down. I bought at 508 and I bought at 501. And this is my count. And this is what happened here. And this is where it can get kind of tricky on Elliott wave, is you're thinking, oh, this is a 5-wave move. Where's the fifth wave at? This is a truncated fifth wave, in my opinion. So what that means is you get a fourth wave, and the fifth wave didn't come down to make a new low. So it can be confusing if you don't know what that means. It probably means that the next wave is actually starting from here. So I have the fourth wave ending right here. And then I have wave 1 right here. And this is the reason I'm in Meta. Because this didn't hit the 1.61 fib right here. It did not hit it. It broke the parallel line. And then we got this move right here. We got a move down. And then this right here looks like an ABC move. And then what happened? We had overall a C wave. Boom, straight down. And this morning I was like doing stuff and I had a stop loss. I removed it because it was actually going close to my stop loss. But my stop loss was around 494 because I was looking at this and I was saying if it goes past the 1.61 fib, then I'm wrong probably. So I put my stop loss a little bit lower than that and it went to 495. And we got to move higher. So I think that this is the start of a fifth wave higher. We'll see tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if Meta pumps up here to maybe like 50, this right here actually. Let's go to the, I won't be surprised if it pumps all the way up here tomorrow or on Thursday. I don't think there's a daily. So I think Meta could potentially pump up here on Thursday into this box for a wave 1, and then when SPX is correcting, probably pull back again and then take off. So I'm looking for this on Meta. And I'm looking potentially all the way up to 557 on Meta. If I'm right and this is a fourth wave and this is the start of a fifth wave, then I would expect 557 on this. So we'll see tomorrow. We'll see if it breaks the lows, or we'll see on Thursday. I keep on saying that. We'll see if it breaks the lows on the support. You have the 50 now above the 20. So I want to see it pump and get the 20 back above the 50. And you can see here also another reason I'm in it is because we're at the we're still below the median on standard deviations. So I think it's going to pump up here to 557. Could go higher than that. It probably won't, but it could. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I like Meta a lot. The invalidation on this, I know I said my stop loss is at 495. Invalidation is back into wave 1 at 482. So pretty good setup here, I think, on Meta. Tesla, it came down. So here's the thing with Tesla. So we get the impulse move. This is definitely a corrective move, ABC. And then this is definitely an impulse move right here. So with all that being said, impulse, corrective, impulse, this almost certainly should go higher based on that. Should 100% go higher. It's kind of a weird setup here though. So we'll see what happens on Thursday. And this actually looks like it is a 5-wave move. So Tesla's kind of confusing right now, to be honest. Maybe, let me see here. And then it went sideways the whole day. That's not an impulse move. So maybe this is coming down farther. I mean, this is impulsive right here. This might end up coming down a little bit more, potentially. Maybe back down to 180. If that happens, I want to see it hold 176.94, or this is invalidated. And that wouldn't make any sense. But if it happens, it happens. So I guess you have to just go with what happens and try to make the best of it. But this is probably a B wave, to be honest. That's the only thing that makes sense. So A, B, C down here. This is wave 1. This is wave 2. And we're still heading up here to 196, pullback, probably going up here to fill the gap at 202. So I still like Tesla long, but today making everybody a little bit uneasy, not knowing which way it's going. But the setup still, again, impulse, corrective move. How do you know this is a corrective move? If it was an impulse move, we would have seen a wave 3, would have broke the parallel line, and it would have made 5 waves. It only made 3 waves. And then we got 5 waves up. So you're not going to get a corrective move, impulse move, and then an impulse move down. That doesn't make any sense. So at the minimum, it's going to make another move higher. And at the maximum, we're going to see this go all the way up to 201, 202. So I just showed you 5 waves up there. And then if that happens, or it could be a 5-wave move higher, but if it happens, it goes up to 202, then I'm just looking at this whole thing as WXY. WXY. That just means everything's ABC. And then we still have to come down. So so the move I thought was going to happen would come down after that, like that. And that's probably going to happen. That's probably going to happen when the market corrects, I think. So maybe into the election. We'll see. Or maybe I'm completely wrong and this ends up going all the way. Maybe that was the bottom. Maybe this was the bottom of the ABC move. It doesn't make sense for this not to go to 240 before the big correction into the election, because I'll show you why. It makes sense for it to go to 240 in the next couple of months for many reasons. But if we're going to 202 and then come down here into the election, then we're only going to pump. First of all, that's going to take forever. Second of all, we're probably only going to pump up here to 240 when the market tops out forever. But if we go like this, and then when the election comes, or the election correction, we can do this down to like 180, 185. So 240 down to 185. And then after the election, pump. So I think that 240 is still coming on Tesla. Maybe this hits 202 when SPX hits its high before the big. No, that's what I just said. That doesn't make any sense. We'll just find out, I guess. I don't know. This has got to hit 240 before the election, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. So Tesla, I'm looking for more upside, basically. AMD, pretty bad. It's below the 20 and the 50. I still think this is going to 180 minimum. Could go to 190. It is below the 20 and the 50. It's above the 200 at 145. It's in daily demand. So we should be getting a bounce out of here. So for the fifth wave, it's probably going to be going to 180. It's kind of in the same spot as Tesla. Looking for like a 20% move on this. 20% move higher. Tesla, like a 20, 30% move higher over the next couple of months. AMD, this move down took about 2 months. So yeah, this took right here 26 days. So normally you want the B wave to be about the same length. So that's June 23rd. So we have, that's basically the end of this week. So maybe AMD does not bottom until the end of the week. And then after we come back, we're ready to go. So on the 24th, we should be ready to go higher. So maybe SPX will top real quick in the morning on Thursday and then sell off into Friday. We'll see. Let's look at Apple. Apple is so I think Apple's got one more pump too. I have no idea how high it's going to go. This right here, I think it's going lower. So you can see right here, A, B, C, like that. And then we get a move down like that. I think there's a very good chance this does this. Fills the gap at 207. And then after that, pump. So I do have an Apple put, and I will be selling at 207 if it gets there. So I think that this follows what I said on SPX. 55 10 or whatever, 55.17. And then, so pump on Apple and then sell off 207. And then after that, pump. No idea. How high is it going to go? Maybe 230, maybe 240. But again, this follows a pattern I said on SPX. This is wave 3, and then we sell off into the election down to 197, and then it pumps again. Who knows, 300, whatever. So Apple 207, probably like 230, 240, sell off to 195, and then pump again. And then that's the top for probably for maybe ever, to be honest. It might never ever get this high ever again. Or maybe if we have hyperinflation or something like that. But I think that Apple, the cycle is almost over. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's kind of a long video. I kind of went more in depth than I normally do, which is good for myself too. And you can see the dollar is staying strong, and it's probably just going to stay strong until the election. Probably after the election, we'll probably finally see that move down. So that's pretty much it. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe. I didn't go over the flows today. I didn't go over PayPal. I guess I could go over PayPal real quick. And then this is the last one. PayPal potentially is a buy here. I don't really like it that much, but it is in 3-day demand right here, and it's sold off, and it's like at the bottom of the standard deviations. So I think there's a very good chance it can hit $72 before we top out, before the correction to the election. So potentially a 20% pump over the next couple of months on PayPal. But we'll see. This is probably going to do potentially that. So that's it. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates, and I will keep you updated.